Hey, g'day everyone. I'm going to just wait a minute so people can join. Hope you all got to enjoy watching the documentary. I've seen it about 400 times and it's still very exciting every time we see it. And I guess I want to start by sending a massive thanks out to Sam Asser, the wizard behind the curtain, who has put in so many hours working with the production team to get what you just saw, the documentary, to the standard it's at. So let's just loiter for another 30 seconds and see some more people join. At any time, you can send me a question in the chat function, which should be down on the right-hand side or the bottom right of your screen. Yes, and thanks to the Last Night Media crew, our lovely production team who have been working on this for a while now. Jeff, that recording of the Veteran Games is now live. So that YouTube link now, the documentary is now live. So please grab that and share it out. I'll even post the link in here just to be sure. Thank you, Sean. Couldn't have done it without your crew, the state crew. Really appreciate it, mate. Glad to hear, Tracy. Great event. Made me homesick. It was so much fun. I must admit, I was head down, bum up, working throughout the entire weekend, but then actually getting to sit down and watch the documentary and just hear that impact. I mean, you heard the guys saying this is the first thing we've done sober. This is the best thing they've done since being in the military and having their families there as well. It was just so nostalgic as well. Thanks, Perso. Thank you, Andrew. And thanks for getting the info out to them, Sean and the state team. Please just keep passing it on. Word of mouth is king and queen. The YouTube link is now live. It's up there. And, you know, the more eyes we can get on that, it's such a positive veteran narrative, helping to break this broken veteran narrative and just try and show people what a great nostalgic event it was. Not just nostalgic, you know, purpose, community, identity, reconnecting with it. Thanks, Jace and the Average Joe's team. It was great to have you guys on there. And obviously David Jamison, the president of the Ringwood RSL. Thanks, Jared. Great to hear. Happy if we can get over there for sure. I wonder what time it is in Hawaii and Indiana. Thank you, Stephen. Glad you enjoyed it, mate. Oh, we got a bunch more people joining. People must be watching it in their own time. I'll just repeat myself and say that the link is now live. So that link you're emailed out, or if you just go to the Veteran Games YouTube, the link for the documentary is there. Please send it out. If you have your social media account, email account, the more people we can reach, the better. And then the central conduit for all inquiries, if people want to be a sponsor, if people want to join a team, if people want to volunteer, veterangames.com. The website's all set up on the Contact Us page. Yes, if you could please like the video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can help push this little algorithm up to do its thing, that would be amazing. Ben, great question. What's been the government's reaction following the Veteran Games success? So we just wanted to share it with you all first, our community first. I will now, that it's live, send a link and a summary to those in government that I applied to earlier on both sides and push it out. We've just really been waiting for this point and wanted to reward you who's actually been our community supporting us first. And now I'll go do the ring around and get back on it in the new year once Parliament is back in house. Thank you so much for your support, Debbie. Really appreciate it. Again, it's been that community support that's made the massive difference. Jared, what was the highlight for me? To be honest, I didn't get to see a lot of those interviews until afterwards. So to hear so many of the objectives that we literally wrote down as a part of the planning iteration nearly 2 years ago for the Veteran Games, to not have alcohol at the event, to have something in the calendar that's positive, proactive, getting people together, to hear the impact where people saying, my family, my wife has literally said, I seem more determined, more focused, having more energy. Like that's, life-changing stuff. And to do so in such a positive way has been absolutely incredible. Yeah, Tropic Thunder were pretty good. Jace, is there anything you may change or do differently for 2024? I can't tell you that, mate. You know this. It's a surprise for you competitors when you turn up. But looking to open up the registrations to double or triple the number of teams. And obviously really wanting to push hard to make sure that we can do things like the recovery station, the ice baths, the massages, the physio and all that, to have enough people there to support the competitors as well, because I know that was a real big draw card. But keeping the breath work and really trying to incorporate that holistic health and performance side, absolutely. Corey, you're done. Thanks, Jared. Hey, thank you, Ben. Yeah, appreciate it, mate. I tell you what, it was it was quite the challenge deciding to push on with the Veteran Games concurrent to the ABC court case. But in hindsight, it was definitely the yin and yang. And if I didn't have a project like that working with Sam and all the extended team, I think I would have definitely become a little bit lost. The most exciting thing that I hope to achieve next year is more and more organizations from RSLs through to whatever actually sponsoring teams. So there's a lot of people here who think, I can't sponsor the Veteran Games or even they want to sponsor the games. I think we should be able to get some really good sponsors next year. But I really want to see, each individual team having their own sponsor, each sub-branch, supporting a team, or any corporates and organizations that can. I think it's so incredible to have, your corporate or community flag flying on the back of a team that's actually competing. And that's where I really want to get it to. Thank you, Jagged Lines, ex-Nasho. Really appreciate it, mate. Yeah, Sean, I think, next year we're just trying to grow it year on year. But I definitely think, particularly year 3, I want to look to have invitational teams from first responders and also from international veteran teams, particularly from the 5i community that we deploy with. And you would have heard me say in the documentary that, we deploy with them and then we barely ever get to see them again. And I've already actually had some great conversations with a crew from New Zealand, from the US, and even some from the UK. And it's just funding and it's just resources to be able to really support their inclusion. Thanks, Chris. That was you, mate. Yeah, Sean, absolutely very keen to get the UK guys involved. Yeah, absolutely, Ben. So even on our race roster system, that's the whole intent, is for individual teams to be able to accrue their own sponsorship as well. So just like the Ringwood RSL team, for those who aren't aware, that's an RSL down on the outskirts of Melbourne in Victoria. So they literally took up the challenge, the sub-branch there at the Ringwood RSL, to reach out and put together their own team, led by Jason Isaac, who's messaging on here, and including Chris Burson. And then, that was their sponsored team that they literally sponsored to enter the entrance fee, and then also to travel up to and stay on the Gold Coast for the weekend. And then Ringwood went even further and actually became a community sponsor of the Veteran Games. And I want to give a massive shout out to them, because they were literally the only RSL from a sub-branch through to a state or even the national that got involved. And I approached all of them from national RSL down to state RSL down, and was really, really disappointed to see competitiveness as opposed to collaboration. And again, as opposed to them being a Veteran Games sponsor, for them to sponsor their own teams to compete next year would be incredible. Let me just catch up here. Great to hear, Stephen. Thanks, mate. Rob, Qantas has not woken up. They've 2 years in a row, they've said that they aren't interested. So we've actually put out a sponsorship proposal to Virgin, and their system says if they respond within 6 weeks, they're interested. If they're not, they're not. So I'll keep you posted, and we'll just keep going. Yeah, you're right, Stephen. The last 18 months trying to get sponsors on board and tell them about the Veteran Games, tell them about the difference between the Veteran Games and Invictus and all the rest, and showing them pretty pictures and all the rest has been very difficult. Now, it's amazing to have a product like this and all the other videos and pictures you can see on veterangames.com to show people what the Veteran Games was and to have those testimonials as well. So that's my job from now in the new year. And I would welcome anyone who wants to help push this out to their networks. We all know someone, and 95% of the sponsors that we had come on board this last year all came from a person who knows a person who knows a person. I think one came from me cold calling or reaching out to a company. I mean, Jace, you guys there in Victoria know exactly what it takes to just go out there and do it. Hopefully just showing people this documentary, mate, and saying, hey, you can get involved and to form a team. The next Veteran Games is 17th and 18th of August. So the more lead time we have to show people what can be achieved and want them to be a part of this. And look, it's going to grow incrementally. You know, we want to have about 15 teams signed up for next year. And we're probably going to have to hopefully limit it to that as we just grow it to maintain that quality and keep growing the staff to help run the activities. Thank you, Corey. Tracy, if you have a contact at Bonza, I'd be more than happy for you to send this to them and link us in and have those conversations. Hey, g'day, Jeff. So we've had this question a few times, able to include physically disabled veterans. Yeah, absolutely, mate. And look, we work hand in hand with Invictus as well. So in particular, the Veteran Games is really trying to focus on proactively reaching out to that highest risk, particularly young men and female under the age of 40 who aren't connected, trained together with purpose and come forward and compete. If people can't compete in the activities we have due to any physical impairments, and having said that, they're all team events, so people can work as a team to get through it, then there are so many different activities with the Invictus Games crew that we can do. And I hope you can appreciate it's a very delicate balance, making sure we can cater to those veterans that actually aren't covered and can't compete in Invictus, but are those that really were the ones attending this last Veteran Games as well. Yeah, spot on, Stephen. Really looking to help elevate the veteran narrative in a very positive, proactive, and highlighting the excellence as well. Yeah, Kate, absolutely. I think we had six women participate this year. And look, for those who don't know, the breakdown of male to female in the Defence Force is 80-20. And, you know, as we get to increase participation, we might look at putting in different classes of competition. But one thing I did love is that whole equality piece. It's just like we were in the services. You know, the standard is the obstacle, the activity, the problem solving, and definitely the way in which we scored it this year. It didn't matter if you were the physically fastest. There were so many technical aspects to it that ended up achieving the outcomes and helping to get the people who won across the line, who actually weren't the fastest, but had the highest aggregate scores. Corey, look, mate, the secret to engaging your local RSL is just finding out who the president or secretary of the sub-branch is and literally getting in direct contact with them and being persistent with it. For those who don't know where the RSL is broken down into such a federated model, you've got the national RSL in Canberra that I just refuse to waste any more time with. And then you have each state level RSLs that have their own funding. but then it comes down to the individual sub-branches, just like Ringwood RSL, and approaching the members of the committee and getting them to get involved. And that's our focus. Would be amazing to have so many sub-branches engaging their younger veterans in their areas and then sponsoring them to participate. Yeah, actually, Jeff, Christo Bersonius on the chat here is actually a community leader, a community manager for Invictus. And you saw him talking about eating Hungry Jacks and watching the footy. So if you actually get in contact with him, if you would like to have a look at any of the other alternative activities that Invictus does. And again, like I said, we plan on working hand in glove with them to help cater to the whole spectrum, because at the moment we really are able to focus on those with disabilities and those with extreme illnesses and injuries. But it's actually this demographic over here. There isn't something until we've been building this veteran games. Thanks, Carl. I love that. Honestly, the community word of mouth, leaflet, posters, all the rest is a great way. There you go. Again, we've just opened up all the links for people for expressions of interest. If you want to be a volunteer, if you want to register a team, if you want to look to be a sponsor, it's all now up on the contact page of our veterangames.com website. All right, enough smack talk, Chris. I just want to say again, the Veteran Games, the whole idea behind the Veteran Games was to build an event that all the tribes can bring their flags to it. You know, Veteran Games is an initiative run by the charity I founded, Veteran Support Force. You didn't see much Veteran Support Force branding, you know, even on the documentary itself, because the whole idea is to have a project that is focused on purpose and bringing people together. So to have other RSLs, to have other ESOs, to have ex-service organizations, to have corporates, businesses, brands sponsor teams and turn up and wave their flags and set up stands and, you know, have their names on banners. Love it. That's what this is designed for. It's about assembling the tribes, and it comes down to your actions and attitudes, your performance and your personality there on the field, the way it used to be in the military days, on deployments, in training, in adversity, sharing together, having fun for the community and everyone else to see. So no one needs to look at this with any form of corporate or commercial competition. It's a charity event. All the costs go into running this event. We'd love to be able to support teams to travel and get there and put on social events after the days and all the rest. But, you know, this last year was run on a shoestring budget and the smell of an oily rag. So anyone wants to get involved and have their name in bright lights, love it. Come be a part of it. That's what it's about. It's about supporting veterans and helping this thing to grow so more Australians can get to see the excellence and the good stuff, as opposed to so much of the other, nonsense that too often takes up the airwaves. Cool. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for giving up your time on this Wednesday night to watch the documentary. Again, the link is now live. Please share it out with your networks, with your people. You have that email that was sent out with the link. Word of mouth is king and queen, and many hands make light work. I'm pulling out all the analogies now. We also have our overview summary. We can get you a whole bunch of collateral if you want to walk the grounds and put posters up and all the rest. So really, really appreciate all your support, and please help us just to grow this. And again, please like, subscribe to the Veteran Games YouTube. Help us push things up that algorithm and keep pushing this out wherever you can. Jay's good question. How was the Australian Defence Force's response to allowing members to compete? Yeah, so they didn't even push it out to any of their people, and that was a political piece from the current Veterans Affairs Minister, what I'm told. So look, now again that this is live, I'm going to push this out to the Army headquarters and Defence headquarters and to the people I know in and around town to help them at least see it, and again invite them to participate next year when we start off the drive again in the new year. Cool. Thank you all so much. Please keep talking. Please keep sharing. Please keep chatting. Thank you for your support. Really look forward to your support again next year. And otherwise, wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays. And thank you so much for being a part of this amazing journey. Thank you for being with us tonight. And thanks for listening to me talking this whole time. Do it. All right. Signing off. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.